Hello and welcome back to Life and Other Circus Skills. This week I'm taking on another sewing challenge. It's actually not the one I thought I was going to do. I'm working like in my mind on next steps for garment making / moving towards being able to do a cosplay thing of any kind. So I think the next project in that lineup might be leggings. Dun 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 dun. Don't hold me to it, I might change my mind, but that's what I'm thinking at the moment. So I thought that was going to be the next sewing project. And then, even though we're strictly out of lockdown conditions now, there has been a lot of, you know, if you're going to a class, any kind of exercise class pretty much, you take your own mat with you. So whether it's just for a warm-up or whether you're using it for more stuff in the class, you take your yoga mat with you. Here's mine, with its snazzy little elastic band. But for those of you who know anything about me and exercise, I get hot very quickly, so I generally am carrying like 2 bottles of water, my exercise mat, a bag, my car keys, like anything else I need to have on hand at that particular point. So I end up like carrying 50,000 things. So I went to my pole class on Saturday and I decided not to take my mat with me and use one of the shared class mats, and actually it just turned out that was a slightly more difficult solution. So I'm like, okay, I want to be able to bring my own mat back next week then. And I was like, do you know what would be really good? Is if I actually had a bag for my mat. Very well, I've been carrying it around this whole time since we've been able to go back to classes. And it suddenly occurred to me it would be nice if I had a bag for my mat instead of like the horrible elastic band and general trying to like shove it in my armpit as I waddle down the road. So I was like, why not just make one? Nah. This is how all my sewing projects come about, really. Aside from like the fact I'm trying to get better at sewing so that I can do more complicated things, I generally just suddenly realise I need or want something and then try and figure out how to make it. So this is another one of those. The interesting thing is though, I think we can sort of use the shape and the approach that I used for the water bottle holder for this, and effectively just make a bigger version with a strap that goes end to end rather than just on the top, so then it can sort of like sling over my shoulder. I think we have the same drawstring top, the same lining approach, the same circular bottom. So yeah, I think overall that's probably a good plan. I might have to make 1 or 2 adjustments. Obviously it's going to be bigger, so I'm going to have to make a new tracing paper pattern first. I've checked out my fabrics and I've got 2 that quite clash, but I like it. So I'll show you those in a minute. And yeah, I'm pretty keen to get cracking on this one, and then hopefully I can take it to pole with me next week and give it a bit of a test run. So stay tuned. Next step is drawing around the mat to make the pattern, and then we'll be cutting it out and then into the sewing. Stay with me. So this is a special little Rosie trick. When you've got something circular you need to do, if you're going to do a pattern, try and find something circular to draw around, because you can draw around the thing itself, but it's very hard to get a perfect circle, or as close to a perfect circle. So, given that my mat fits in this tube, I'm going to draw around the inside of the tube, like so. And then I've actually retrieved the pattern for the strap from the water bottle holder, as that was a pretty good length. As you can see, it's currently longer than the main cylinder of the yoga bag, so I'll probably bring that in a little bit, but not too much. Always better to have more than you need to begin with, and then you can tighten that or adjust that as you go. So that's it in terms of patterning. Now on to the cutting. Okay, so all our bits are now pressed, including the strap, which I've already pressed in the special folding way that we do. So I'm then going to start with sewing the lining bits together, because that's the easiest bit. Then we'll do the outside bits. And the main thing I need to remember as I'm doing the outside bits is that I've got to sew the strap in at that point, at least at the bottom, because that needs to sit in between the outer layer and the bottom bit. Pincered. And then the top bit, I haven't quite, because I didn't want to do it exactly the same as with the water bottle where we had the lining piece folding outwards. And we obviously need to make a channel so that we can do the drawstring for this one. So in theory that's a fold inwards, but then I just have to figure out where the strap goes and if it's going to be annoying that the strap comes over and inwards rather than sitting under the outer flap. So we'll figure that out when we get to it, but yes, that's the general order of things as I can figure it at the moment. So lining, here we go. So I'm actually just thinking I should probably put both ends of the strap into this bit. It's very hard trying to figure it, no. It's very hard trying to figure it out when everything's all inside out and I can't test the weight of it. But I think it's going to be stronger to have it right through the middle, because it needs to be like an over the shoulder job again. And so yeah, we want one towards the bottom and one towards the top. I was going to do this in the section that aligned with the bottom, which I think I still should, but yeah, then the top section, if I sew it in now, then even if I do the fold over, it doesn't matter which fold, whether I fold outwards or inwards, because then it's already sewn in, is what I'm thinking. So that means I've got to figure out how long I need it to be at this point before I've put everything together. So that's going to be a bit of a test. Hopefully I'll get it right, otherwise shit. So yes, calculations to be done, I think. Okay, so strap attaching success thus far. I decided what I was going to do was actually just double the ends over so that there was a more secure fastening as I put it through, and then if it's still a bit too long, I'll do exactly what I did with the water bottle holder, where I fold a section over in the middle if we need to shorten it a little bit, and then there's sort of later extension capability if we need that, and also it just meant it wasn't going to interfere with any of the other sewing that I needed to do. So now that I've turned this right way out, I'm going to turn it back inside out again, but I wanted to check before I did that the strap actually aligned. It was quite complicated trying to pin that on and make sure that actually once you stretch the whole strap out it was going to be going in the same direction and not twisted around and stuff. So yeah, back inside out. The lining is already inside out. I've actually just got to do the bottom of the outside and then we can sew those two together. Looking pretty good so far, and the strap is the right way around. Yay! Win. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a little testeroo and shove the old yoga mat in. Oh God, sending everything everywhere. Amazing. Yes. So then, yeah, we're definitely going to need to take some length off the strap, but that's cool, right? For the crossbody. We'll figure that out in a minute. Looks like I've got a bazooka right now. Not what I'm going for. Okay. So I'm actually going to leave the mat in there for a second, just so that I can figure out where the channels need to be for the drawstring and how far to fold this inwards, because yeah, basically we probably want, I guess, about 1 inch to 1.5 inches folded in, and then we'll sew 2 channels, leaving enough room for a drawstring to go through, and then that's done, and then it's just shortening the strap. Exciting stuff. So now the final piece is the strap. So now that we've got the drawstring sorted and the mat in the bag, I'm going to go and remeasure this. I'd already sort of pinned a bit up, but it feels a lot tighter now the bag is in there and the drawstring's on. So I'm going to go and measure this. Then we'll just do that final adjustment and then we're done. Yoga mat a go-go. Feeling pretty good about this, I have to say. It defo looks like a funky yoga bag with a nice short strap. I'm pretty pleased with how it's alive. This is what happens when you sew all day, you go insane. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how the drawstring came out. Definitely my most successful drawstring attempt thus far. I hadn't quite figured out the dynamic of this one, so it actually sort of makes a slightly, I guess, smaller ruff at the top than I thought it was going to, but that's okay. The main thing is it holds the bag in there. There's plenty of space for it to sort of expand if it wants to do that. But yeah, like it just fits nice and snugly on the shoulder, which was the win, so I can now happily go off to my class carrying my 2 water bottles in my hand and my bag, and then this can just pop on the shoulder out of the way. So it is a massive win as far as I'm concerned. I didn't have to make too many adjustments versus sort of the water bottle pattern we were going by. So yeah, all in all, I'm pretty pleased with this project. I can't tell you what's going to be next because, as I say, even though I've postured doing the leggings, it entirely depends on my mood and whether there's suddenly something else I decide I need en route. So yeah, I guess stay tuned for the next sewing project, or if you have any suggestions or requests, by all means pop them in the comments below and I'll be happy to look at those, put them on the list for potential future projects. So thanks for watching this one, really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again next time.